It was a seemingly ordinary Tuesday afternoon, with the monotony of the school day. The routine was shattered when the intercom blared to life, announcing an unscheduled lockdown. Panic seized the classrooms as students and teachers hurriedly sought refuge in designated safe spaces. The atmosphere was charged with unease, and the dim emergency lights cast ominous shadows on the walls. As we huddled in the confined space, the principal's voice crackled over the intercom, confirming that this was not a drill. The threat was real, and a shiver ran down my spine as the gravity of the situation sunk in. The dimly lit room became a sanctuary tinged with trepidation, and the air was thick with the unknown. Minutes stretched into an hour, and the suspense became noticeable. The intercom remained eerily silent, heightening our anxiety. Suddenly, a soft scratching noise emerged from the corner of the room. At first, it was dismissed as the sound of our frayed nerves, a manifestation of the tension in the air. However, as the scratching persisted, it evolved into an unsettling presence that seemed to breach the boundaries of our perceived safety. The teacher, a pillar of composure until that point, approached the source of the sound, a supply closet tucked away in the shadows. The scratching grew louder, an otherworldly symphony that seemed to defy rational explanation. With hesitant hands, the teacher turned the knob, and the door creaked open, revealing the pitch-black void within. A collective gasp echoed through the room as the teacher's flashlight revealed an empty closet, a void that seemed to mock the laws of reality. The scratching, however, persisted, now seemingly emanating from the very air we breathed. Whispers of disbelief swept through the room, and an indescribable tension settled over us like a suffocating mist. The scratching intensified, and a sudden chill enveloped the room. Panic set in as we realized that the unseen intruder, a phantom force, had breached the supposedly secure walls of the school. The lockdown, designed to protect us, had become a chilling revelation of vulnerability. The intercom crackled to life once again, the principal's voice laced with an undercurrent of uncertainty. Confirming our worst fears, the principal admitted that the threat was not external. It was already within the school. An invisible menace lurked, and its intentions remained shrouded in mystery. In the dim light of the lockdown classroom, we waited in silence, haunted by the realization that the institution meant to shield us had become the stage for an unseen intruder. The scratching continued, an unsettling reminder of the intruder's presence, as we grappled with the unnerving reality that our sanctuary had been compromised. The minutes stretched into an eternity, and the suspense weighed heavily on our shoulders. Each creak of the building, each distant sound, fueled our imagination with the fear of the unknown. The unseen intruder had turned the school, once a symbol of safety, into uncertainty. As the emergency lights flickered overhead, casting shapes on the walls, the scratching abruptly ceased. A pregnant silence enveloped the room, and the intercom crackled once more. The principal's voice, now a strained whisper, confirmed that the unseen intruder had retreated, leaving us with a haunting sense of vulnerability. The lockdown was lifted, and we emerged cautiously from the classroom, our eyes scanning the dimly lit hallways for any sign of the elusive intruder. The air seemed charged with residual tension, and the shadows played tricks on our frayed nerves. The intercom announced that the threat had passed, but the scars of the unseen intrusion lingered, a reminder that, within the ordinary walls of the school, an enigmatic force could unravel the fabric of security itself. As we stepped back into the harsh light of the hallways, the scratches and whispers became distant echoes, fading into the recesses of our collective memory. The school, once a haven of learning, had become a haunting tableau of vulnerability, where the unseen intruder had disrupted the illusion of safety, leaving us to grapple with the lingering specter of the unknown. The rain lashed against the windows, a symphony of torment that matched the unease within the school. We were huddled in our designated lockdown spots, the shrill alarm creating an anxious rhythm. But among the whispers of the wind, rumors spoke of an abandoned basement hidden beneath the creaking floorboards, a place long forgotten, yet ripe with an unsettling history. As the lockdown drill unfolded, a daring group of us couldn't resist the allure of the forbidden depths. Armed with flickering flashlights, We tiptoed through the dimly lit corridors and descended the narrow staircase that led to the basement. The air grew colder with every step, and the distant echoes of the alarm seemed to fade into an eerie silence. The basement was a maze of shadows, with narrow hallways and doors long untouched by human hands. The stale scent of neglect hung thick in the air as we ventured further, our flashlights revealing layers of dust and cobwebs that adorned the corners of the forgotten place. As we explored, strange whispers danced around us, as if the walls harbored secrets desperate to be heard. The basement seemed to be alive with a charged energy, a pulsating force that beckoned us deeper into its mysteries. It was a force we couldn't resist, a calling that transcended rational thought. Suddenly, at the far end of the basement, a door swung open with a reluctant groan, revealing a room untouched. Ancient desks, weathered textbooks, and cracked chalkboards painted in the hunting room. The air inside felt heavier as we entered inside. The flickering light of our flashlights revealed the faded remnants of a tragic incident, the remnants of lives disrupted and extinguished. Faces of children from the past stared back at us from cracked photographs, their eyes hauntingly innocent yet forever frozen in sorrow. And then it began, the sound of a child's laughter, a distant echo that seemed to resonate from the very walls. We exchanged uneasy glances, the unease growing with every passing moment. The laughter evolved into anguished cries, the spectral voices of children replaying the final moments of their lives. "Help us," a voice pleaded, the words carrying a weight that seemed to pierce through the confines of time. The room became a spectral theater, the ghostly figures of children acting out their tragic tale. We were spectators to a haunting drama, powerless to intervene as the echoes of the past played out before our terrified eyes. Panic set in, and we tried to flee, but the door that had swung open now stood firmly shut. It was as if the basement itself had conspired to keep us captive. The whispers grew louder, merging with the anguished cries of the spectral children. Shadows danced on the walls, contorted figures trapped in an eternal cycle of despair. A ghostly figure materialized before us, a young girl, her eyes hollow and filled with sorrow. Her voice, a haunting melody, resonated through the room. "You've trespassed into the realm of the forgotten," she lamented. "Now you shall share in our eternal torment." The temperature plummeted, and the air became thick with a spectral energy. We were surrounded by the echoes of the past, entangled in a nightmare not of our making. The ghostly figures closed in, their faces contorted with grief, and the forgotten room became a vortex of sorrow that threatened to consume us whole. Desperation seized us as we pounded on the door, pleading for release. The spectral drama continued, the children's cries growing louder as if pleading for redemption. The basement had become a purgatory, and we were unwilling prisoners trapped in the haunted embrace of the forgotten. Suddenly, a blinding light enveloped the room. The door swung open, revealing the familiar corridor bathed in the dim glow of emergency lights. We stumbled out, gasping for breath as the door slammed shut behind us. The whispers faded, and the temperature returned to normal. We stood in the corridor, shaken by the otherworldly encounter in the abandoned basement. The storm outside still raged, but the true horror lay within the depths of the school, a basement that time had forgotten. The day started like any other, the sun casting its warm glow on the school grounds. The bell echoed through the corridors, signaling the beginning of another routine school day. Little did we know that the familiar routine would soon dissolve into an unsettling ordeal, leaving us ensnared in a web of suspense and uncertainty. Midway through the morning, the intercom interrupted the monotony, crackling to life with an unexpected announcement: a school lockdown. Confusion rippled through the classrooms as teachers and students scrambled to secure themselves in designated safe spaces. The emergency lights flickered to life, casting an eerie glow on the walls. As we settled into the dimly lit classroom, the realization sank in that this was not a routine drill. The atmosphere grew tense, and the intercom, usually a source of guidance, remained ominously silent. Minutes passed, stretching into an agonizing stillness that seemed to defy the relentless march of time. The teacher, attempting to ease our growing anxiety, assured us that it was likely a minor technical issue causing the prolonged lockdown. Yet, as the clock on the wall refused to budge, a sense of disquiet settled over us. The routine had been disrupted, and a glitch in the system held us captive within the confines of the locked classroom. The intercom, finally breaking its silence, emitted a burst of static, and the principal's voice cut through the unsettling quiet. An attempt at reassurance, the principal explained that there was a technical glitch affecting the school's communication system. However, the glitch went beyond mere inconvenience. It had wrapped its tendrils around the fabric of our reality, distorting time and perception. Outside the locked door, the school seemed to exist in a state of suspended animation. The usual sounds of bustling activity were replaced by an eerie silence that amplified the tension in the air. Attempts to reach the outside world via phones were met with inexplicable errors, as if the glitch had infiltrated every aspect of our immediate reality. The teacher attempted to maintain a semblance of normalcy. But as the glitch persisted, the emergency lights flickered erratically, casting unsettling shadows that danced on the walls. The once familiar surroundings took on a surreal quality, and a palpable sense of isolation settled in. In the confined space, the glitch manifested in subtle yet disconcerting ways. Shadows seemed to move independently of their sources, and whispers of unheard voices reverberated through the walls. A chilling draft swept through the room, carrying with it an otherworldly presence that eluded explanation. The intercom, a conduit for guidance, emitted another burst of static, and the principal's voice became distorted, a warped symphony of electronic noise and fragmented words. The glitch had transcended the communication system, leaving us with a sense of foreboding that extended beyond the confines of the locked classroom. As the distorted intercom emitted a series of haunting tones, the emergency lights extinguished, plunging us into darkness. Panic set in as we fumbled for flashlights, their beams revealing an unsettling tableau. As the distorted intercom emitted a final burst of static, the glitch seemed to intensify, warping reality itself. The structure of the school seemed to ripple with an otherworldly force. Desperation set in as we grappled with the realization that the glitch was not a mere technical error, but a force that had disrupted our perceived reality. In the heart of the glitch-ridden school, we were prisoners of an unseen force, lost in a labyrinth where time and space converged in unsettling ways. Suddenly, as abruptly as it began, the glitch receded. The emergency lights flickered back to life, revealing a classroom that, for a brief moment, seemed to exist on the periphery of reality. The intercom crackled to life once again, the principal's voice, now restored, announcing that the lockdown had been lifted. We emerged cautiously from the classroom, our eyes scanning the dimly lit hallways for any lingering sign of the glitch. The air seemed charged with residual tension, and the shadows played tricks on our frayed nerves. The school, once a symbol of order and routine, had become a battleground where the glitch had disrupted the very nature of our reality. As we stepped back into the harsh light of the hallways, the glitches and whispers became distant echoes, fading into the recesses of our collective memory. The school, once a haven of learning, had become a haunting tableau of vulnerability, where the glitch had momentarily shattered the illusion of stability, leaving us to grapple with the lingering specter of the unknown.